Today let's talk about bulbs. We have 5 different kinds of plants that a lot of people will call bulbs. Only one type is a true bulb. The rest of them are similar but not the same, and so sometimes there's some confusion. I can't even say it. Sometimes there's some confusion. So we have true bulbs like this onion, the garlic, the tulip, the daffodil, Easter lily, and amaryllis. What they have in common is a basal plate that sends out the roots. They have concentric rings of leaves. If you were to cut the onion in half horizontally crossways this way, you'll see a lot of circles of leaves. And if you cut it several times, that's how you can get onion rings. If you cut it the other way, up through the center this direction, that's where you'll find the center stem and leaves and flowers for next year. The bulbs, the true bulbs, also a lot of times will have a papery shell on the outside called a tunic. A tunic is a type of coat, and this is a protective layer for the bulb. The garlic has it, the tulip has it, the amaryllis has it, but this Easter lily does not have it. Now the garlic and Easter lily bulbs have their leaves, these storage leaves, separated out into large pieces. If there's a large enough piece that has a part of the basal plate on the bottom, you can actually grow a whole new plant. The basal plate is the stem that sends out roots in one direction and branches and leaves in the other direction. So we have, these are called cloves or segments, and the Easter lily can be propagated that way, and the garlic as well. Now a lot of the other bulbs will send out new plants off the bottom. So once this new piece is large enough to have its own basal plate, it can be broken off. This amaryllis sent out 3 new ones this year, and it not only does it have basal plate there, but we've got good roots growing out of it, so we can easily propagate that with once it has that basal plate on there. Now another bulb type that has a tunic is the Corm, C-O-R-M. Now this crocus is a really good example. You can see the big papery tunic on the top here, and the basal plate is on the bottom. Now the corms are solid on the inside because they're stem tissue, not leaf tissue. So the bulbs have leaves that are doing the storage. The corms have stems that are doing the storage. And a lot of times you can break off the previous year's corm that's shriveled up because it gets consumed during the year. Now the taro plant is a corm, and it can grow really, really large and is edible. Now in every one of these groups there are some that are edible, some that are not. So there's a really small taro here that's a corm. Now the tuber is a stem tissue as well. It's a horizontal underground stem. Roots don't have buds for new parts. So this is a potato that's a tuber that has eyes that can grow new roots and new branches and stems. And once it gets above ground, the stems can produce flowers and fruit. And the fruit of a potato looks like a tomato. And now there is another tuber called a yam. In many parts of the world it grows very large, and it is a tuber. In the United States we have sweet potatoes that are sometimes called sweet potato yams, and they are actually tuberous roots, which is our next group here. We have a tuberous root sweet potato here. It does not have the buds for the new growth, but it does have a single point where you can propagate it that way. This is a daylily, and the tuberous roots on here in this case have got little swellings instead of being completely swollen. So daylilies and dahlias also grow from a tuberous root. There's another group, the last group is called the rhizome. It's a horizontal stem again. It sends out roots to the bottom and buds here for branches to grow upwards. This one's a small chunk of a canna. And here's a lily of the valley rhizome. It's got a lot of roots on it, and you can see a couple of little buds at the end here that are called pips, actually. Now some plants will grow in more than one way in a family. So this is an Iris reticulata bulb, and this is a bearded iris rhizome, and this is a small chunk off of one, and this is actually a large rhizome piece off of a Siberian iris. So we have, it's very small compared to the German iris, and this is actually a small piece. So we have small iris rhizome, a large iris rhizome, and a bulb. So we have a lot of different ways that we can grow plants. There's also, here's a tuberous begonia. It says tuberous, but it's not a tuberous root, it's a tuber. So there's a lot of different plants that are edible. Rhizomes, there's asparagus and ginger are edible rhizomes. Water lilies, a lot of them are also rhizomes. This has been Jeff with a Greener View. Thanks for watching.